Hey there, welcome back to another video. This time it is another vlog. Gonna give my thoughts on a couple movie trailers, some upcoming Blu-rays, um, as well as Disney Plus's upcoming reboot of the Mighty Ducks. It's gonna be a reboot TV series. That's gonna be a rant because I heard about what the proposed plot synopsis is. Let's just say it's really something that's gotten me quite irritated. And I will definitely air out all the reasons why in this particular video. But before I get started with talking about some trailers, some upcoming Blu-rays and stuff like that, I want to do a little quick DVD Blu-ray update, as well as some VHS tapes, because I actually did find some VHS. I went to the Salvation Army today, as well as a pawn shop, and I went to another antique shop. I didn't really find anything. I did see a old vintage Playmates Star Trek: The Next Generation transporter set, so that was pretty cool. But I'm not gonna pay $40 for it. You know, I would have no place for it, no space for it either. It was one of those things that was like, it's cool, and I took a picture of it. You can see it like right here or right there. But it's something that I didn't feel like I really needed or anything like that. But yeah. So these are ones that I picked up from various different places. The DVDs actually are from a combo of the pawn shop and the thrift store. Pick this up. It's a Universal Vault series DVD of a film called They Might Be Giants. I'm wondering if the band They Might Be Giants is familiar with this. I had never heard of this. I saw that it was a Vault series release, and I know that these are usually good ones to pick up if you can, because for the longest time there were a lot of them that were out of print and never really had a release, excuse me, other than on the Vault series, although this got a Blu-ray release from Kino Lorber. But you know, for a film I've never seen, I'm totally fine with just picking it up on DVD. Stars George C. Scott, and I really like George C. Scott as an actor, so that right off the bat, that got me interested. But then the plot, where he's a retired judge who believes he is Sherlock Holmes. I like Sherlock Holmes. I like George C. Scott. Sounds like a kind of fun plot. So yeah, They Might Be Giants. Comedy called The Ritz. I picked this up because never heard of it. Also, it's got a really young F. Murray Abraham in it, Jerry Stiller, Richard Lester film. I guess it's based on a stage play, a Broadway play of the same name. It's a 70s movie. I kind of like to. I honestly enjoy watching these like 70s comedies and stuff like that because in a lot of ways it's a time capsule. It's like going back in time and to a era that is definitely a lot different than now. Here we have Beyond the Stars with Martin Sheen and Christian Slater and Sharon Stone. This is actually a film that is written and directed by David Saperstein, who wrote the script for Cocoon. I've always been kind of curious about this one. I'm thinking I might already have this, but I only paid $1 for it, so it's not like I paid an arm and a leg. Here we have a thriller called Executive Power, with a very provocative cover art. Makes it look like it's a softcore porno thriller. Maybe it is. I don't know. I picked it up because it's got Craig Sheffer and John Hurd. I'm curious to see John Hurd, the late John Hurd, as a president. I think he plays the president in this. Plus, it's pretty cheap, and I like picking up these out-of-print titles like that are probably never going to get another release, and probably for good reason. And then I picked this up because I'm kind of curious about horror westerns, because there isn't very many westerns that are also horror films. I mean, you have Ghost Town, but then you have a few others. But picked this up which I thought this one looks like it stars the Undertaker. Rest in peace. But no, it doesn't actually star the Undertaker. It stars some other guy. This is probably a piece of shit, but it was really cheap. And also, this is apparently a film that stars Michael W. Brown and in a bit role, and it's co-directed by Michael W. Brown. So I will only have myself to blame if this movie sucks. But anyway, yeah, that's another thing I thought was kind of funny. It's just like I've never seen that. Is just that is my initials are W, Michael Brown. Like, it's just one of those things where, it would be like if my friend Matt, he saw a movie where it's directed and has a bit role by a guy named Matthew Roller, and he'd be like, "What?" But yeah, it's just one of those things that just for shits and giggles, and just to see if maybe it might be kind of fun. But After Sundown, these are the best deal though. I only paid. Yeah, I didn't pay that much at all for these. I just saved a lot of money getting these from this thrift store than getting them on Amazon. I remember seeing a few episodes of the show on MTV. I definitely remember the one with Bam's dad, with the fireworks and everything. And then there was one where the mother encountered a bunch of alligators or something. I remember that quite fondly. So yeah, talking about Viva La Bam. So this is the first season of Viva La Bam. I also got seasons 2 and 3 of Viva La Bam, and the complete seasons 4 and 5. So the complete series of Viva La Bam for what, like, I think I only paid like $9 total, which is just a steal. The guy was trying at the Salvation Army was trying to give me the whole, well, they're individual discs and they're usually $3. But I'll give you a deal. It's like, that's stupid. I'll just say this right off the bat. If you are a store and you're charging people $3 a disc, that should only count for one disc by itself. It should not count for box sets. That's ridiculous, and that's insane, and that's stupid, and it's unfair. So what you should be doing is, if you want a certain amount of money for the sets, fine. Put a tag on them for $4 or $5 or more than that, if that's how you want to do it. Don't give this whole thing where every DVD is $3, but unless they're in a box set, come on, that's lame. But anyway, I will say this: it seems like the guy knew that and was okay with it, so cool. He made a deal with me, and I walked out with the entire series of Viva La Bam for cheaper than I could get it anywhere else online. So, pretty good deal. I don't know if these are cut like the Jackass set is or not, but yeah, still absolutely worth it. And then the rest are VHS tapes. The Salvation Army actually had a good amount of VHS tapes. So here we have Murder 101 with Pierce Brosnan. I believe this one also, yeah, it's directed by Bill Condon. Day Young is in this. Yeah, it's one of those made-for-cable thrillers. So Raphael Sbarge is also in this, too. This is a Lifetime movie, but I got it because it sounded interesting to me. It's called Storm and Sorrow. Sorrow. It stars Laurie Singer from Footloose. It's based on a true story about a group of mountain climbers that ended up being trapped on a mountain in Russia. And it's got some decent reviews there, and sure, I mean, I like movies like this, survival films like this, and I never heard of it before. Here we have a comedy, Hexed. This one, it stars Ari Gross, Claudia Christian, Adrian Shelley, Norman Fell. This is a spoof film. It's a spoof of erotic thrillers. Makes for a good double feature with a film like Fatal Instinct. which was another spoof of erotic thrillers. Yeah, and I think I saw a trailer for this on one of the tapes that I picked up somewhat recently. It looked like it might be kind of fun, so decided to pick it up. Hexed. Um, then we have a film starring Tom Sizemore and Pamela Gidley called Bad Love. This is some bad cover art. I mean, what is this? I mean, you just have her floating head here. Then you have an arm. I don't know whose arm that is. Is it supposed to be her arm? If it's supposed to be her arm, it's not in the right position. It looks like she's a contortionist or they broke her arm. You have Tom Sizemore, who's another floating head. Then you have a hand with a gun, but it doesn't. I don't even think that's Tom Sizemore's hand. I mean, look how fucking chunky those fingers are. And then, you got the smoke from the gun forming a heart. Apparently, this film has a heart-pounding ending that makes this Bad Love an unforgettable movie experience. Yeah, we'll see about that. I like Pamela Gidley and Tom Sizemore. I thought it'd be kind of fun to see an early role by him. But yeah, I mean, just listen to the synopsis. Eloise is in a dead-end job with a slick-haired boss and a life that is punctuated by overwork and passionless quickies in cheap motels. Lenny is a down-and-out loner who moves from one menial job to the next. Fate steps in and lust and passion take over as Lenny and Eloise begin a romance that sends them on a destructive road to porn, violence, and crime. Porn? Apparently, Joe D'Alessandro was also in this, who was in some Andy Warhol films, Margot Hemingway, Debbie Mazar, who you might recognize. She's been in a few things. So, Bad Love. And then I got this horror film. It's called Hellbreeder. Looks like Pennywise the Clown's fucked up brother. Probably a giant piece of shit. But it was cheap. So I'm like, alright. It's a cheap horror movie. So, Hellbreeder. So that's it for the DVDs and VHS tapes that I picked up recently today. I only paid a total of like $20 for everything. So I think that was a pretty good deal. And that was honestly my budget that I gave myself this week and for my paycheck this time around. I was just giving myself a really low budget because I didn't really want to spend that much. I wanted to start saving up. So, yeah, I think I did pretty good. Now, speaking of releases, I might as well just talk about some of the upcoming Blu-rays. Scream Factory just announced the details on their Fly collection box set. It appears that the transfers for the Fly 2 and the Fly, from what I'm looking at from their official description, is not a remastered or anything. There's no 2K or 4K remastered print of the Fly, the 1986 film, or the sequel, and that's honestly pretty disappointing. Also, the extra features for those two are pretty meh. This is an expensive box set. This is like $50-$60. And I only care about the Fly remake and the sequel, the Fly 2. The original Fly films, I'm okay with just having them on DVD, and I'm fine with not having Curse of the Fly at all officially, because it sucks. So it's one of those things where it's like, it just seems like a waste. Like, at least with the Omen box set, there's a lot of crap in that too, but it seems like they do have some new transfers, and they did throw in some extra bit of features, which makes it a little bit more worthwhile to me than the features on this set. And I don't love the Omen, the original, but I do like it. I think it's an all right film. And I actually thought Omen 2 was underrated, and Omen 3 is pretty bad. So, I mean, it's one of those things where there's only really 2 movies that I really like, but at least there's other features and stuff like that make it a little bit worthwhile. So if I were to choose between the box sets, I would probably end up getting the Omen set, because it just seems like there's more to it. The Fly collection, you have disc 1, which has the original Fly. It's got a new commentary with a couple film historians and the other features are on the other release. Return of the Fly's got a new audio commentary with one of the actors, David Frankham, and then another commentary track with a film historian. Disc 3 has Curse of the Fly. 2 historians do a commentary track. There's an interview with an actress, Mary Manson, and an interview with Continuity, Renee Galini. And then the Fly remake, you have a new audio commentary with a film historian named William Beard. Don't really care. An interview with Mel Brooks, which I'm like, do we really? I mean, what else? What can he really offer? He was an executive producer, I know, but Beauty and the Beast, an interview with the producer Stuart Cornfield, an interview with composer Howard Shore. That might be pretty cool because it's a great score. I would like to hear about his thoughts on it. David's Eyes, an interview with the cinematographer Mark Irwin. New interview with the casting director, and then the audio commentary of David Cronenberg that was on the previous release, and then all of the other really in-depth features and all the other stuff that were on the previous release. I mean, the extra stuff is cool, but it's not $60 cool. That's the thing. It's not $60 cool for me, because the original release for The Fly, it's decked with features. I mean, that multi-part documentary is just stacked. So yeah, it's just one of those and then you don't have a new transfer, which makes it even more So then you have disc 5, which is The Fly 2. It has an interview with the producer, Stuart Cornfield, interview with the screenwriter Mick Garris, interview with another screenwriter, Ken Wheat, interview with Christopher Young, the composer, interview with one of the special effects artists, Tom Sullivan, interview with the cinematographer Robin Vigian. So this one seems like The Fly 2 seems like it has a little bit more extra stuff, which is cool. Plus it has the other in-depth making of stuff with the movie. But it's like there's no new features, and it just ports over a lot of the same stuff. There's no new transfer. I mean, if somebody sent it to me as a gift, I would gladly take it. But at this point, I don't see this set being worth $50-$60. That's just me personally. And I really like The Fly and The Fly 2, but I just don't see it that way. Now, I definitely see Scream Factory's upcoming release of April Fool's Day definitely worth it. They haven't announced any features yet, but I'm definitely looking forward to that. They just put out the cover art and of some of the specs for the My Bloody Valentine release. The cover art I'm very mixed on. Initially, I thought it was pretty shitty because I thought it was very lazy looking and reminded me a little bit too much of the Lionsgate artwork. But I've kind of warmed up to it, but I'm still not super big on it. I've seen worse though, but like Pet Sematary 2, the cover art for that is ass. It is so bad. And I gotta be honest, Scream Factory is really slipping lately with their cover art. And they charge a premium for their releases, and a big part of it is these exclusive slip covers and this exclusive new cover art and new transfers and everything and so on and so forth. But there are instances where they don't really have a new transfer, and the cover art they have isn't really that great. So it's like, and the features that they throw in there are So it's one of those things that it's like, I really don't know what to say about it. I mean, it's like, is this just kind of there? I'm more into Scream Factory's upcoming releases like Prophecy or Dracula, the 1979 film, which I'm really looking forward to because that one actually has the original release that came out in the theater with the original color timing. So, yeah, there's no details yet for Pet Sematary 2, except this really awful looking cover art. They're doing a lot of things lately I've noticed that I don't like, where they're just doing a super extreme close-up of a character or something in the movie, and then some things in the background, and that's it. That's pretty lazy to me. But, you know, I honestly will take that, though, over this overstuffed kind of cover art that they've been doing, so maybe, you know, it's a fair trade-off. But regardless, I'm more all about the features and the fact that My Bloody Valentine is going to get new remasters for the theatrical cut and the unrated cut. So that alone is making it worth it to me, despite my kind of meh thoughts and feelings on the cover art. But yeah, so definitely looking forward to that. I don't know about any other upcoming releases that I can think of off the top of my head that I wanted to talk about. There are a couple trailers though I want to discuss. Um, you have Vin Diesel and Bloodshot. I've never read any of the comics that it's based on. Looks like it might be a fun movie. I don't know if it's going to be great. It's not something that I would see in the theater, but it looks like it could be at least a time waster. The new trailer for Star Wars: Rise of Skywalker didn't get a rise out of me either way. Like, it didn't really piss me off. It didn't make me excited. I'm just extremely indifferent. I'm extremely flaccid on Rise of Skywalker. Um, I didn't watch the new trailer for Antlers because I really like the teaser, and I just want to save any extra stuff from that film for when I actually do get around to seeing it. The new trailer for Jumanji: The Next Level was just as cringy and awful as the other trailer was. Bombshell looks like it might be a interesting drama with a great cast and some really great makeup effects, where they did a really good job making the actresses look exactly like their real life counterparts. Doolittle, like, really, Robert Downey Jr.? Are you running out of money? Do you really need to do something like that? That looks forgettable as all hell. The new Charlie's Angels movie looks like a TV movie, and it's gonna bomb. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about the new Charlie's Angels. Nobody cares about Charlie's Angels, the IP, period. Did you know there was a TV reboot that happened like 5 years ago that nobody saw, and it flopped and was canceled after like 4 episodes? So yeah, I mean, this just seems like it's a vanity project for Elizabeth Banks. Look at me, I can direct, and I'm a strong, independent woman. Here we go, Charlie's Angels. Although the theme song is Don't Call Me Angel, which I'm like, that's the name of your team, is Angel, Charlie's Angels. Like, don't call me Angel, we're no angels or something. It's like, I'm no angel. It's like, what's next? Is Pamela Anderson gonna show up and she's gonna be like, yeah, that's right. Don't call me babe, and don't call them angels. um, just really, why? Um, yeah, that I could care less about that fucking movie. It looks extremely cheap, and it's gonna flop because nobody gives a shit. Nobody cares about that movie. Um, Trying to see if there's anything else to talk about in terms of trailers. Yeah, there's another Grudge movie. Why? Why are we doing another Grudge film? And it's just called The Grudge because these reboots and sequels are extremely fucking lazy now, where instead of having a subtitle or using their brain, they're just like, it's just The Grudge again. It doesn't look like anything to write home about. I'm not really that big a fan of the Grudge films, period. Bad Boys for Life. I like the trailer. I know there are people who think this is a better trailer than the teaser. I actually like the teaser better. This one still was fun, though, and I am looking forward to it. That's definitely a movie that I'm looking forward to checking out next year. One of the few anticipated films that I have on my list for 2020. But it's kind of a bummer, though, that it's coming out so early in January, because that means one of the few anticipated films that I have on my list of films that I'm looking forward to for next year, which I've looked at the upcoming list of films so far, and it's pretty slim pickings. It's coming out early, and I'll check it out, and then I'm going to go through a good chunk of the early part of 2020 with not a whole lot of new films that I want to see, which is, you know, it's a first world problem, but it's still kind of a problem. Then we have like the trailer for The Invisible Man, Blumhouse's new reboot, retelling of the Invisible Man story. I'll stick with Hollow Man. If I want a retelling or a reboot or a reimagining of The Invisible Man, I'll stick with Hollow Man. Thank you very much. Uh, this looks honestly pretty meh. And there's nothing about this trailer that really impressed me. I'll stick with the 1933 original with Claude Rains, or the 2000s TV series that used to air on the Sci-Fi Channel, The Invisible Man, featuring Vincent Francesca. Hell, I might even stick with Memoirs of the Invisible Man over this with Chevy Chase. Because at least, hey, it's something different. This is just like, the only thing different about it is, oh, it's her ex-boyfriend. He somehow is a genius, apparently, and discovered the formula for invisibility, unless there's a fucking twist, and he's just a ghost. Which I wouldn't be fucking surprised if that's the case, considering this is from Leigh Whannell, the guy who did Upgrade, which everyone and their mother seems to love for some reason, despite the fact that it's a film that is 90%, or actually 95% an sci-fi action revenge movie, and then the last 5 minutes of the movie decides, nope, I'm a horror film. Here's a twist I pulled out of my ass. That Stem, spoiler, was the villain all along. And your hero loses because Stem wins in the end. And people give it all this praise because it surprised them, even though it was something that I saw coming the moment it started to build things up. And they're giving it all this slack because, oh, it talks about the dangers of technology. And I'm like, what the I mean, really? You're going to be, oh, Upgrade, it talks about the dangers of technology. What makes Upgrade's retelling or take of the dangers of technology any different than any other story with the same concept or the same vibe? What makes Upgrade any better or any different than Ex Machina, for instance, or any of these other stories that have been written multiple times over in science fiction novellas and magazines and collections of short stories, or The Outer Limits or The Twilight Zone? What makes it any different? It's the same cliched bullshit about, oh no, we can't trust technology, it's evil. I could go on and on about Upgrade, but I won't. Just such a letdown. It should have just been a straightforward action sci-fi revenge movie. None of this bullshit at the end where it's trying to be like, I'm a horror movie. Watch me pull a twist out of my ass. But yeah, so that's another reason why I'm not really looking forward to The Invisible Man. Also, Elizabeth Moss, I hate to say it, but it doesn't look like a very good performance on her part. A lot of melodramatic acting in this trailer. That's not, I don't buy into for 1 second. So yeah, don't really care about that one. When we're talking about horror films that I actually legitimately do give a shit about, Color from Outer Space, or Color of let me see. I need to check in on what the title is again of it. Color Out of Space. This is based on a H.P. Lovecraft short story. This features the return of Richard Stanley, the director, who did The Island of Dr. Moreau. He did Hardware. So he comes back from a fairly lengthy time away from behind the camera to do this. Nicolas Cage is in it, from the producers of Mandy, and it looks visually impressive. It looks pretty crazy. It looks trippy. It looks like something right up my alley. Really like the trailer, so I am definitely curious, and I'm definitely looking forward to that. Now we get to Disney Plus's idea. Their proposed concept for the Mighty Ducks reboot TV series on Disney Plus. Now, I will say this right off the bat. A Mighty Ducks reboot TV series, I honestly don't have an issue with. I think that's a good way to continue the franchise for a new generation, as well as throw a bone or throw a puck, so to speak, out to fans of the original series. But Disney has this all wrong. this is the proposed concept that they have for this. The Mighty Ducks series is in development for Disney Plus. The series will focus on a 13-year-old boy who gets kicked off the Mighty Ducks until his mom decides to start their own team, find players, a coach, and a place to play. What the fuck, Disney? What are you doing? What is this new thing with Disney lately where they want to destroy the past, where they want to flip a giant middle finger to fans, or to just be like, fuck you to the legacy of a franchise that they own? They did that with Star Wars. They're doing it now with Mighty Ducks. What the fuck is with this bullshit? Is Rian Johnson somehow behind this reboot? Because what kind of fucking... Who comes up with a concept like this? And why the fuck would Disney greenlight this? Why would you be like, hey, you know what Mighty Ducks fans want? Yeah, they want a new series where the Ducks team is run by a bunch of fucking assholes who decide to kick a kid off the team for whatever reason. And then we're going to have this lazy gender swap shit where instead of it being, Gordon Bombay, it's some other one, some kid's mom who decides to start her own team. It's like, so is this what they're going to do? Are they going to go the route of, well, the Ducks are now like the Hawks, and the Ducks are full of themselves and they've lost their way, and the head coach could either still be Emilio Estevez, but I highly doubt he's going to have anything to do with this. But it might be like Banks. It might be Charlie. And speaking of Charlie, why didn't see? I don't get it. It's so easy. This is such an easy concept to get right. Joshua Jackson, ask him to come back. You're Disney. Throw a bunch of money in his face. He's not doing a lot lately. Come back. Be Charlie again. You're gonna be the new coach of a new Mighty Ducks, and you're gonna have new kids, and you're gonna bring in the old Ducks to help train the new kids. Maybe there's one episode where the old Ducks get on the ice to face some old Hawks or something, or the old Iceland team to get the nostalgia flowing. It's simple. It's just Charlie is all grown up now and takes the mantle, and maybe have Emilio Estevez has a cameo and he retires and gives the Ducks to Charlie. It's such an easy fucking thing to do. I mean, it took me like a couple minutes, but then you overthink it, and then you do something stupid like this that's just a slap in the face to the franchise, to the integrity of it, to the fans. Nobody wants a Mighty Ducks series where the Ducks are a bunch of fucking fucks. Nobody wants that. So the Ducks, apparently, yeah, they're the Mighty Fucks now. And this kid got kicked off the team, and now his mom decides she's gonna create her own team. What is she gonna call it? The Ducks? Why is it called the Mighty Ducks if it's not even gonna be really about the Ducks? Unless the Ducks are the bad guys. Like, this is clearly something where they saw Cobra Kai, and they were like, we need a piece of that pie. What do we have that is somewhat similar to Cobra Kai? Oh, the Mighty Ducks. But yeah, I'm not looking forward to that at all. I was initially up for a Mighty Ducks TV series or reboot series, that respects the original series, brings back some of the original Ducks, and has some new Ducks. But no. Nope, can't have that. We gotta have this bullshit where we tear things down, where we deconstruct things, where we tell people to fuck themselves, and we turn the Mighty Ducks into the Mighty Fucks. And because of that, I don't give a fuck. Anyway, thank you for watching my vlog and little VHS DVD updates, thoughts on a couple movie trailers, some upcoming Blu-rays and stuff like that, and a rant on Disney Plus's new proposed Mighty Ducks reboot series. Yeah, I mean, the Ducks were supposed to fly together. That was their whole mantra. And this whole concept just blasts that out of the sky. Just, anyway, once again, thank you for watching, and I will see you later. See ya.